Hey everybody, it's Rob here. Just like the Rogue did a few days ago, China has figured out a mechanic here on the Whirlwind Barbarian to deal infinite damage. You can see how he's rocking Pit 100 here, and he's absolutely one-shotting all the packs here. He's basically never letting go of his Whirlwind. You can see he just holds the button like Hodor. We've actually had similar bugs before. You might remember, I'll show you here in a bit. Where this was possible. So basically, like you spin and then you keep spinning, stacking up a multiplayer. And this has something to do with the Whirlwind changes that they did, and it keeps indefinitely stacking. So he just spins for a couple minutes, and then his Whirlwind does infinite damage. I have it from a pretty good source that this build already did Pit 150, because like the life of the monsters doesn't matter and his damage doesn't matter. You see, he's just 160 Paragon. He doesn't even spend any of the Paragon points, and boom, he just spawns the boss. And you can see what it's all about here on the boss. He's not going to one-shot the boss. He's going to go to the boss, and then he does no damage for like a long time, because it just infinitely stacks up. Every Whirlwind tick, it just stacks up more damage. It stacks up more damage, and he just keeps holding the button. And at some point, like if we skip forward in the video, like he is just suddenly gonna like one-tap the boss. Like, you know, this is basically how the mechanic has always went. And we've had this mechanic actually before. It was on the PTR. It was also on the season launch, where Edgemaster was indefinitely stacking. You can see here, this was the Thorns Barbarian. This was on the PTR. Like, we actually deal infinite damage. You can see this here. He just does an 8 here and like a gazillion trillion number. And this is possible again with this new Whirlwind Barb, apparently. Obviously, this is not a build I recommend, because this is just some fun stuff. And with the new policy, I'm hoping Blizzard is nerfing this. You see, this is like basically when I was doing it here with the Fidget Spinner Barb, basically just going crazy and one-tapping everything. This is not in the season, guys. This was on the PTR. And you can see here even, you basically just run through here. Boom, 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 boom. It one-shots everything. And this already happened once with Edgemaster. And basically, it's back again. I'm not sure if it's Edgemaster. It's probably also something to do with the boss powers. And then you see here, the boss, boom, also dies in one shot. And yeah, this has been reproduced here by Ren Donglin in the season. And you guys can see, like, when he's starting to run here, he just goes in, like, he stacks it up. And yeah, he basically keeps blasting and just killing all the packs here, even on higher pit. But again, when you switch the floor, you lose this like snapshot that you do with this damage. Like, you also lose the snapshot, obviously, if you don't hold down the button. So you need to like keep pressing the button, basically, or that's at least how it used to work. And you see he just keeps presses the button all the time. He never lets it go. And yeah, this is pretty sad to see. I would love for, you know, a viable Whirlwind build, not like a bugged one, where you have to like snapshot a bunch of things and then suddenly just deal infinite damage. I really hope, just like on the Rogue, guys, that they can fix this build as soon as possible and like nerf this bug, but also fix the build and also some of the Spiritborn stuff, you know, to deal more damage. I can show you here like the entire way it takes him to stack up this infinite damage stacking. You actually saw the end of this video earlier. So you see here, he just makes a pull, like he's on the second floor now. So he basically lost the infinite damage trigger, the infinite damage snapshot. And now he basically has to stack it up all over again. So it's going to take him here, you can see 12 minutes. This is just boring stuff, so I'm going to skip a bit forward. Like you can see, it just takes him here like a minute to stack it up. And obviously, the higher pit you go, the longer it takes to stack up. But you will reach infinite damage as long as you just do it long enough. And again, my source tells me that this has already cleared pit 150, just like the Rogue that I showed you yesterday. And yeah, this is a pretty crazy build. And I'm really hoping to see just some balance changes in general. I think the game has quite a few problems right now. Just like the season, the apparition incursions not being like viable enough, the class balance being a bit out of whack. Basically, if you're playing like a normal Barb build, you can't really do like any close to this damage. And you see now he's back to one-shotting, of course. And this is crazy. I'm not going to have a planner for you guys. This is a bugged build. I don't want to debate anyone, and I don't encourage or really want anyone to like go and do this, because it's stupid. The game is not supposed to be like this. And also, even if you would go for it, there's a high chance with the new policy, this is just getting nerfed. Once I know the mechanic, I'm hopefully making a bug report for this as well. You can like let me know in the comments if you like know anything exactly like what's triggering this. I don't really have a Barb right now, and I'm not interested in this kind of builds. I want like a normal, you know, spin to win build to be viable that players can actually play. And there is another Barb build. This is a second Barb build that I also want to show you. And for this, I have a planner. This is just a questionable game mechanic. This is the Pet Quake. This is right now like a more legit, clear. It like did a pit 90. So this is like if you know want a real Barb build that's not fully abusing all the bugs, like this one here could be viable. This is basically an Earthquake Barb that is also using or abusing, we don't know if it's a bug or intended, pet multipliers to scale the Earthquake damage to some crazy amounts. So basically, the way this works is we got a ton of new multipliers, like the Beastmaster's Training Boss Power, which gives you a 2.5x multiplier. And then you have multiple more multipliers that apply to your pets. And whenever your pets, like your ancients, spawn earthquakes with the area's bearing here. You see here, ancients you summoned are empowered, Corlic creates an earthquake. Whenever Corlic creates this earthquake, that one earthquake that Corlic creates is now benefiting from all the pet multipliers that you have available, like increasing its damage like 100x or something. So not your own earthquakes, only the ones that this guy spawned. That's why we also don't use the tech rune anymore. So Beastmaster's Training, then you also can play the ultimate skill scaling. You can play here with Aspect of Ancestral Charge, only for the second sentence, increasing your summoning skill damage by up to 1.4, and basically just benefiting from all these like pet multipliers and all these ultimate multipliers like fully stacking heavy hitter. And this is basically how the skill tree looks. So you're basically using this earthquake and then using the heavy hitter and all the ultimate multipliers in combination with all the new pet multipliers and all the existing pet multipliers that you have to crazy juice your earthquake. And you can see here you can reach up to hundreds of billions of damage here. Big credit to Z Sane that has figured this one out, or that I've seen him play. Like he's doing a pit 90. So this is a build I can like somewhat recommend, because let me know in the comments if you think this should be changed or if this is just like, you know, a clever use of game mechanics where your earthquakes suddenly are benefiting from your pet multipliers. And this is basically allowing him also to deal some pretty juicy damage here. You see, this is not infinite damage like the first thing that I showed you with the infinite whirlwind stacking. This is like a normal, somewhat normal build, and I'm actually happy that the Barb has something, you know, that at least does comfortable Torment 4 and stuff. However, I'm going to put the planner for this one in the description of the video. However, I don't think this is the real playstyle that they have, or that also Barbarian players have envisioned. I certainly think it's cool that there's a viable pet build. But all the other builds, you know, they said in the campfire chat that they want the Barb to attack with their physical attacks, mighty weapons, 200 big boings, big whirlwind, and not have, you know, your earthquake or your pet deal all the damage. Like, we want back to like a physical playstyle where we can use our double swing, we can use our rend, we can use our Hoda, or we can use our like not bugged, not snapshot whirlwind, not dealing infinite damage, but actually like being a viable build. That's something that I would like to see. Obviously, this is a cool mechanic, and big kudos here to the guys. And yeah, also to fighting this again. I think this guy, I heard, I'm gonna keep you updated, but I heard this guy already did a pit 250 either way. So yeah, this is crazy. And these guys are not on the leaderboards like. There is a community leaderboard, but this is only if you submit the run. So this does not have most of the Chinese players here. And yeah, the Rogue did 150 and the Barb as well, according to a source. We'll see how all this is going to end up. We're certainly going to have to address the tier list. We will see if Blizzard addresses more of these bugs. And I hope if they do it, they can do it fast. And maybe also, you know, buff some of the underperforming builds or fix some of the negative bugs that are plaguing, for example, the Spiritborn, or even some of the other classes like normal Barb builds or something, like could definitely, you know, see a juice up. But like S plus tier is basically like just reserved for bug builds at the moment. Anyways, guys, we're keeping it positive, and I'm really hoping to see some changes here. Again, if you want to try this Pet Quake Barb, go ahead. I do not recommend you try this infinite damage scaling Whirlwind Barb. You're probably not going to make it work. And even if you do, there's a good chance that they will nerf it. And just for the record, guys, because I saw a lot of you that only said, oh, Rob, there's this infinite damage rogue, but you only want the rogues to be nerfed with their infinite damage mechanics and not the barbs. No, I think like this kind of playstyle here, like not doing any damage and then one-shotting the boss, is completely stupid. I'm going to link this video here below. And I just don't think this is healthy for the game. And I think it should be addressed, and it should be addressed fast, because nobody wants to do no damage for 5 minutes and then suddenly, you know, one-shot the boss. It's obviously a bug, guys. We'll see what's going to happen. I'll keep you posted. I just wanted to make this video because so many of you asked me about this stuff and what we do with Barb and what we can do. And this is like some of the craziest stuff that I could find. Hope you enjoy the season anyways, guys. I will see you soon. Take care, my friends. Pit 100 is down now, and GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.